So DeVonta Smith, I mean, this guy is the first wide receiver to win the Heisman in almost 30 years. He had a prolific season. We had a front row seat to watch him put up insane numbers in just the first half of the national championship game before injuring his finger coming across the middle. I mean, the main concern with him has nothing to do with on-field production or anything off-field. Like, there's no red flags there. It's just his size. I mean, it's almost just his weight and his stature, because he's gonna be 6'1". At the Senior Bowl, I was virtually covering it, and everyone was just saying how impressive he was, and he's a really mild-mannered guy, and he just really takes the game seriously, film study, all that, and people just like him. I mean, it's crazy that this guy that's just absolutely embarrassing defense is just like this really quiet, soft-spoken guy. One body and player comp that people have been saying is like Marvin Harrison. The thing with DeVonta Smith is he can really do it all. He can line up all over the field. I think he would be like absolutely prolific in the slot and like an insane upgrade from Greg Ward. I do think he could line up outside too, but I just really think DeVonta Smith would be a really solid pick. I don't be surprised if he goes to Miami at 3, or if they just do a small trade back with a quarterback needy team, and because they were really impressed down in Alabama with DeVonta Smith, the Dolphins.
So I'm just going to keep following Chris, I guess. Is what maybe we should have compared notes. So my number 5 was also DeVonta Smith, and Chris kind of covered. I mean, really, the only thing you're concerned about with him a little bit is his weight, his size, and it's not. I don't think it's a huge concern, but I think it limits a little bit of his versatility. I don't think at the NFL level you might not be able to put him at the X. He's probably going to have to be the slot or the Z receiver. To whereas with Chase, I think you can put him anywhere. And so I put Chase a little bit ahead of him. But either way, I mean, you're going to get a stud receiver. Smith, we've talked about the Eagles offense. What does the Eagles offense not have? Explosive plays. And what does it have a ton of is dropped passes. And he cures both of those problems. He has the most 20-yard touchdowns of any receiver in this class. And he has a 2% drop rate over his entire career at Alabama. So, I mean, I think he's a surefire pick. If the Eagles go that way, if they decide to go with a playmaker, you wouldn't be disappointed with DeVonta Smith.
My number 2 player is wide receiver DeVonta Smith from Alabama. All year long before the playoff, I was a believer in Jamar Chase over DeVonta Smith. But when I watched him just absolutely dominate Florida, Notre Dame, Fighting Irish, and Ohio State, I just couldn't ignore his upside any longer. I think he has the potential to make the most people look dumb in this draft, either way, for drafting him or for passing up on him. But he had 117 catches for 1,900 yards, 23 touchdowns, and had 30 catches of 20-plus yards. When you compare him to Chase, I just find it hard to find the reason for me to single out Chase that would be different, other than weight. I find it hard to find the thing that I prefer Chase in. Smith played all 4 years and only dropped 9 passes, caught a ball to literally win the national title as a freshman, as he has performed well in every big game he's ever been in. He's worked well with not only Mac Jones, but with Tua and also with Jalen Hurts. I know people are throwing out the Tavon Austin, John Ross worries, but those guys were not the first Heisman since 1991. He also won the Biletnikoff, obviously. Todd McShay has taken to comparing him to Marvin Harrison. I've also heard slimmer, faster Calvin Ridley. So I think both make sense, but I really do think DeVonta is his own special type of receiver, as reference for how special his Heisman Heisman senior year was at Alabama.
117 catches, 1,800 plus yards, 23 touchdowns, first wide receiver to win the Heisman. Dude was unbelievable for Alabama last year. He's that deep threat. But this guy is a technician when it comes to route running. This guy turns slant routes into routine 20-plus plays. But by the way, he can also be that home run threat in bubble screens. Like, his run after the catch is ridiculous. I see DeVonta Smith as that like Z receiver in the NFL. Like you said, Chris, he would be an upgrade over Greg Ward, believe it or not, even though I'm a huge Greg Ward fan. It hurts me to say that. But I see a lot of people, we talked about it today, talking down on his slender frame. I don't buy it at all. I guess the other knock is he's 22 years old. So he is an older prospect when we're talking about Jamar Chase, who has just turned 20 and dominated competition as a 19-year-old. And if it wasn't for Chase's ridiculous year in 2019, DeVonta Smith would be a hands down number 1 wide receiver prospect in this year's draft, probably over the last several years. So this guy's a stud. If the Eagles were lucky enough that he falls to number 6, it is an A+++++ draft for the Philadelphia Eagles.